What can we be expecting from this morning's address?
Thank you, Shante, and a very good morning to you. We expect President Ramaphosa to address the CEC, as you have indicated. But what we have just gathered now is that that address will not be open to the media because the Central Executive Committee wants to be as frank as possible with the President of the ANC. There are a number of issues they want to delve into, so they want to do that very openly without anyone perhaps prying on them in the form of the media. So that is why they have decided that this address be close to the media. But to shed more light on that is the spokesperson of the ANC, Sizwe Pamla. A very good morning to you, Sizwe. So we came here thinking the president was going to speak to COSATU in the full glare of the public. What has changed?
No, nothing has changed. We actually, there was a miscommunication between ourselves and the ANC because we took decision that we wanted to have a conversation with the president in private so that we can allow the president to outline the issues from the government perspective, give us a sense of what is going on with the South African government, especially because there are a number of areas that we want to talk to the president about that relate to workers and worker issues. So we wanted a situation, or we want a situation where we will have that conversation in a very frank and honest way, because we strongly do believe that over the last couple of months there are a number of issues really that have taken place. For an example, we want to have a conversation about the IPPs, the issue of the government deal of the independent power producers. We are still very unhappy about that. If you go back to the budget itself, we characterize that budget as very anti-worker and anti-working class in its posture. So we want to have this conversation without really censoring ourselves or each other.
Is this saying anything about the relations within the alliance, given that you were backing the current president very, very openly and very publicly? You felt he was going to be able to push the kind of agenda that you wanted, but already you appear to be having certain issues.
No, not at all. Look, we're not going to hide. We do have issues that we want to raise. But it really doesn't say anything about the alliance and the relations in the alliance. We have made it very clear when we supported the president that we were not going to give him any honeymoon period. We made it very clear that we are going to support you until you become the president of the country. And then we will start pushing you. We will start exerting more pressure. And this is what we are trying to do here, to say we have never been naive, and we were not naive when we supported President Cyril Ramaphosa. We knew what we were trying to do. We were dealing with the challenges that the country was facing at the time. And even now, we understand the challenges that the country continues to face. But for us to be able to better represent the workers and their dreams and aspirations, we need to continuously have these kinds of engagement and conversations with the president. And you will remember that for a long period over the last 2 years, we were no longer having these kinds of debates and discussions. The fact that we can call on the president and he avails himself to come, that on its own it tells you that relations have improved and that a lot has changed from where the alliance relations were 2 years ago.
Just in short and in conclusion, how would you characterize the general relations within the three partners, or rather four partners at the moment?
Look, there's still a lot of work to be done. The fact that we have a new leadership it doesn't mean that the problems that have existed have suddenly disappeared. The tensions inside the alliance are really about policy, nothing more. They are never personal. They've always been about policy and the lack of implementation of those policies. And we will continue to have those fights because we are going to continue to push the ANC to actually better implement its own resolutions and better implement its own policies. So for us, we we are comfortable with the fact that we have a new leadership collective that is accessible, that is able to listen, but we want to move beyond that. We want to have a situation where they start to take seriously their own resolutions and start to implement them without interpreting them like we have seen before.
Thank you very much. There was Sizwe Pamla, the spokesperson of COSATU. They're saying they will be engaging on a number of issues with the president of the ANC. They've raised a few issues which they are unhappy about. He's spoken about the issues of the IPPs and, of course, the issue of the budget. And we expect that when the president has concluded with those engagements, we are still in discussion with some of the people who are managing this situation. We are expecting that perhaps afterwards then he speaks to us as the media to give us some reflection of how those engagements would have gone about inside.
Definitely. Thank you very much for that, Mzandile Beje for SABC News on the ground. Unfortunately, now that address has been confirmed by a correspondent that it will not be open to the public or the media, also citing from COSATU spokesperson saying that COSATU does want to be as open and frank as possible in its address with President Cyril Ramaphosa this morning. We will be giving you more details around that.